That's what it ended. That's what it was all over. It's been downhill from there. It's 5 blocks out.
That was that cool.
Good time to consolation. There's so many other guys here that I can see.
I'd like to have our color guard tonight will be Mad Brad Sandona, in other words, Lieutenant Colonel Sandona, and I'm the only one that gets called Mad Brad, unless you work that year. And we have for the Ordinary flag, which we all love, Lakota. We're all now part of the Takahoni Lodge. We used to be part of Mokwa. Don and I, Don here, stand up so everybody can see you. Jose, stand up. Ellen, stand up. You are standing. We all went to the Mokwa 7 banquet last week. And Mokwa was the first lodge in the Chicagoland area. It covered everything from northern Indiana all the way across to, all the way through Blackhawk Area Council, all the way to the Mississippi River. And subsequently, it broke up into smaller units, including Lakota, and then now we have all merged back together, except for Blackhawk Area and Northeast Area Council. They are still their own entities. Don't know if they'll ever come back into our lodge, but now we are called Takahoni. We are still Lodge 7. Our totem is the paddle, and our name, Takahoni, is where the rivers come together, because we have a lot of rivers that all come together in our lodge. And guess who got to support those two names, the name of the lodge and the paddle? That was me. Lodge 7, I couldn't get 294, but they said 7 would be the number, because anytime that you merge lodge back together, you always go with the lowest number. And speaking of paddles, Woody, stand up and show us your oar.
Whoa, whoa! Hey, there's under 18s.
So when they started throwing away the junk, you all know what that meant. They threw away a lot of these oars. Well, this one was number 14, real from the voting, and it's all labeled and I have a marker, so if everybody wants to sign it later. You gotta kind of sign it smaller, because this way everybody gets signed it.
Okay, so with that, I'd like the color guard to come to attention. The audience, please rise. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, post the colors. Nobody's in uniform. Hand over heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, color guard. And Hunter is carrying the Philmont flag. He's the only youth that I know of that went to Philmont. He went to Philmont 3 years. So that's why I wanted him to present Philmont. My Philmont crew is here. I want my Philmont crew to raise their hands. We have Bertha in the back. We have the Jonan brothers. They are grandsons of Jim Jonan, who was my mentor when I was 15 years old. He came to pick me up at the high school. We went out to Maryville Academy. We took pictures with all the professional football players, and I developed the pictures and sent it out and went to Paddock Publications and the Daily Herald and Hartford Advocate and everything all around us. So Jim was my mentor for probably over at least 50 years ago, because I just turned 67. So 52 years at least. And Jim was the program, at first he was my district executive. Then he was the camp program director and the council program director, and then he was camp director at Napowan. And his son David here was a baby, and I used to hold him up in the dining hall while his mom was cooking. So isn't that something that it all comes around? I didn't even know David's last name for over a year, and the boys, I've seen them at the Ordero meeting, I didn't know they were brothers, they're twins. So isn't that weird that it's a small world here? Kindergarten is dismissed, and thank you.
Hey, can I leave mine right there?
That would be just fine, it's closest to Philmont. So you're all just leave me seat, all right? Have a lot of longtime friends here. Boy, it's gonna mean a lot for me that you all showed up here. So I would like to tell you, I was very nervous about this day. I started out with Dawson Wallace about a year ago. We were at a party with a bunch of the staff members. I don't even remember whose house that was. Is he here? Who? Snoo? Is he here? Well, we talked about it. Anyway, Dawson ended up having a stroke, and he is no longer able to be with us. But I told him I'd carry on. I had to come up with at least $3,000 worth of payment here tonight. I think we'll get it. But I was taking a chance. I didn't know if I'd lose $1,000 so we'd have a little money to donate to philosophy in the future. That was another thing that came up. We talked about, hey, how are you? You made it. We talked about, at the MOQUA 7 meeting the other night, Javier is the director of the museum up there, and he would like to have that panel. And I'd like you to present it to him when we go up there on Memorial Day at the 4-day weekend at Owasso. So I think it's like 3,000 acres of woods up there. It's really beautiful. I've never been there, and I think this would be my first chance to go there. I'd like any and all of you to go with. We'll all camp together. If you're too old to set up a tent, I can let you camp in mine. It's a great big tent, right about here, just about, almost. So, I was a little nervous this morning when I woke up. My son Hunter's an excellent cook. He's an Eagle Scout. He made me a breakfast today with a bunch of sausage and bacon and ham and eggs. And, you know, it kind of made my stomach kind of curdle a little bit. And I had to go to the bathroom, and that's when I noticed I had my underwear on inside out. And I'm wearing these shoes that, you know, you gotta lace them all up. There's a lot of work, and I'm wearing blue jeans and, you know, in a small bathroom, and I'm thinking, oh, hell, I'll just pretend like it's the 3rd day of camp. A few of you might get that. So anyway, I'm fine now. I'll change them in a couple of days. And then I'll be right side out. It should be fine for me. I did want to mention a couple things that I've done since, you probably all wondering what the hell happened to Steve. Is he a bum now or what? I went to Philmont with my crew, and I told them I was going to be a cowboy for this trip, and I haven't cut my hair in about a year. And I started growing a beard out of Philmont, and I kept it. And now, Sue, stand up. Sue is my partner in the district here. Sue got her silver beaver last year, and she is like the point person for camporees and Klondike derbies, and I'm her program guy. So our program is going to be about the Klondike. We're going to give out little gold nuggets and stuff like that. We got a lot of program we got to put together. And then my next big thing will be the camporee, which is going to be based on mountain men. So that's why I'm going to look like a mountain man. And then maybe after that, maybe I'll cut some of it off. I don't know. We'll see. Where's Bob Booty? Bob Booty wants me to make a wig, so we might work that out. So anyhow, I just want to let you know, camporee's at Odakota, and it's all about mountain men. And is there one guy here that doesn't know how to light a fire with flint and steel? I bet all of you do. And I need guys that know how to skin a fish and fillet it all out. I need guys that are interested in taxidermy and can explain to the kids all about that kind of thing. There's a lot of other ideas that probably you have, and I want you to feedback to me your ideas for this camporee. It's going to be at Camp Otakota, which is not too far for us. It's about half the distance of Napowan, and it looks an awful lot like Napowan. I think you'd all get a kick out of being there. So, we've talked a little bit about Owasso. That's going to be a museum that's built up there, and they're going to add on to it significantly to put up our paddles. A lot of people ask about where are the paddles. They're in storage up at Alaska in a big storage box, right? We want to get those on display up there. Somebody gave me this at the last party that we had. In the words of our fellow Camp Napowan staff member, Harrison Ford, in the movie, he says, "It belongs in a museum." And this needs to go up to our museum. I'd like to have as many of you come up there so that we can all be together when it goes into the museum. And they're going to be building additions onto that this winter and at the Spring Fellowship, which is, again, Memorial Day weekend. So you all have that. Tonight, we have a special guest, and I think he came from Texas. Where are you from nowadays? Mount Prospect. But it's almost as far as Texas. So last year, Kurt couldn't make it. He said he was going. He went to Texas, right? Something like that? Just say yes. Okay, good. Yeah. I have a room for you at my memory care. I work at an old folks home, so you know that's why I can relate to Sue, and Kurt, and then for all these people. So, hey, you know, I only say it because I love you. Okay. Last year, we had our priest who was at Napowan when that boy got killed by the tree. And he found that was his calling in life, and he became a Catholic priest. He's actually Brian Mapone's grandchildren's pastor. Anyway, we did talk about a lot of boys that went up to camp, and one boy in particular had such a bad family situation going on where he was getting beaten up and everything. And at 13 years old, he faked it with a signed sheet by his parents, which he forged, that he wanted to be a CIT. He did not want to go home. And Camp Napowan was his family. And pretty much, he was sort of like homeless. And we started talking about that at our last time here. And I met one of my former staff members who had gotten kicked out of his house that night, and he was crying, and I didn't understand what was going on. He explained it to me, and he was basically a 19 or 20-year-old homeless teenage boy, and he had nowhere. Some of the guys got with him, and they took him home, and he's okay now. But I thought it was very interesting that when my son went to college, he came back with a degree, and he ended up not having a job in his degree field, which was at an insurance company. They basically told him he was too smart to work there, you gotta get the hell out of there. And so he went looking for a job. He had previously worked with teenage delinquents, drugs and bad behavior and that kind of thing. And he didn't want to do that again, but he did find a place in Elk Grove Village called Shelter Inc. And he works with teenage homeless kids, boys and girls. I just wanted him to come up here and talk a little bit about what he does as it relates to all of us. He's an Eagle Scout. Come on, come up here. Just come on. You gotta be an Eagle Scout. So, with what he does with these kids, when he was senior patrol leader, these kids were a few years younger than him, all the way down to 11 years old, which would mean now that he's 23, these kids are in their teens. So he's still leading boys and girls somewhat younger than him, but I heard the story about how he told one of the parents what they were going to do, and this is why they were going to do it, and they did it. Why? Because he did it. If I would have said it, I would have gotten an argument. He made it through it. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about what he does.
I do want to point out, these are the notes he was looking at earlier, just so everybody knows. Also, I don't think my dad listens very well. They're not teenagers. I mean, some of them are 18 to 24-year-olds that become homeless. They come and they call me, and I help them find this place to live. And then while they live with me, they figure out, what it is that they want to do, whether that's go to school, find a job, some vocational training, and I help them figure it out.
So, as it relates to us, this was what came about the last time. And now, just by coincidence, he's doing that. And I hope, how many Eagle Scouts are you? Guys, stand up, wave your hand in the air if you're an Eagle Scout. Make sure that you're doing something significant with your life and not working at a gas station someplace. All right? Now, one of my oldest friends in this room, I got a lot of old friends in my room. Here, Kurt Duvall is going to get up here and he's going to lead us in a couple of camp songs and do a couple of road trips for us. Kurt, come on up. And we got the Napowan bench for you.
That's what makes the first Texans.
Okay, some of you might know what this is. All right. When I was working in Napowan, one of the songs that I typically did in mess hall required participation with everybody in the room. And it was repeating after me. Repeat after me. That's right. It involves clapping and slapping the knees. So if you're able to position yourself so you're able to move along with that. Can't do it with a mic. Green flag. Green flag. Green flag. Go. Green flag. Go. Move on. Move on. Lisa. Move around. Move around. Lisa. Oh no 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 not Lisa. Oh no 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 not Lisa. Yes me wow wow me. Wow me wow wow. Yes me wow.
You didn't do that. Want me to do pizza now?
I can see the pilots on. I can see the pilots on.
One more time? No. We don't want you to die.
Sorry to see you. Then you gotta do that. You gotta do that.
What do you want now? You need a cardiologist? No, fine. We have a fireman and an EMT studying with your doctor right here. Just in case. Still there?
Yeah, they're all like. So, Spider Man, what song you gonna do? Huh? What song you gonna do?
Refresh my memory, Bert.
There's so much. Everybody else.
We are the best guys from all around. Some are big and some are small. We really love how to solve sports. We work and we play and we're having fun. Now scare it away. Oh, we will make a rain of eyes. Hooray! For Napowan.
Yo, that's like my favorite one. Yo, Spider-Man's like,
Here's going to dining hall. They have programs. And Bert, I didn't usually do this in the dining hall.
supposed to sit down and say, I got a song.
Go around the piano. There we go. Wow. What year were you at camp? On staff? What year? 69, 70, 73 through 84 or 85. How many staff members do we have here that were on staff in the teams until the end of the camp? So pardon? 2010 until now. Who was on staff? My guy. 2016 guys. Who was on staff from 2000 to 2010? Okay. Who was on staff in the 90s? Anybody? Anybody on staff in the 80s? On staff in the 70s? Anybody else in the 70s? Do Namakaga now. Okay, Namakaga in the 70s. Okay. Napowan in the 60s. Namakaga in the 60s. Anybody on staff before the 60s? Very fortunate.
Harry Ford was on camp the year that I was born. We have a special guest film out with me, and they are commissioners. With us. We have her here. I'd like to bring her up here for a minute to tell us a little bit about council. Bertha Guzman, everybody. Otherwise, what is your name? Firebell Maverick from Philmont.
Yeah, he had us choose a cowgirl or cowboy name. Hey guys, yeah. So it's good to see the cavalcade here. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't wear my hat either, but Eddie did. That's awesome. We had a great time. We were there for about a week, and we did a. Let me see, what did we do? What did we do? We traded for our food, we traded for Spam. There was a fight for Spam, and some of us, me, couldn't barely get on our horses. I had to have Steve, hey, push me up there because this horse was massive, massive. His back was as tall as me. So it was a lot of fun. At the end of the week, we had a gincana. It was competing with the other teams, and of course, we lost, but it was a lot of fun. So anyway, he wanted me to come up here and just say a few words and know that we're doing pretty good in Pathway to Adventure Council. We have about 13,799 youth. We have 442 units. YPT was doing great at 98 to 100%, so that's good. And training, we're working on training. We were at, last time I checked, at 59%. When I first started, I think we were like at 52%. So we're trying to train more youth position leader-specific training. And we're trying to do more in person to get more people trained up. So our goal is to get to 75%. I don't know if I'll reach it by the time my term ends, but we're gonna try. Let's see what else. Retention, we're about 70%. That's really good around the nation. And if you are a COR, Charter Organization Rep, we have an in-person council executive board meeting on March 8th. It's a Saturday. The location to be determined, so if you want to attend, there's no time. Let's see what else we have. This year, because we're talking about Philmont, the training center turned 75 years anniversary, the Philmont Training Center. So it'd be a good year to attend Philmont and maybe get yourself a 75th year anniversary package. We have, let's see, the council camporee is in September 19th to the 21st. It'll be at Sandwich Fairgrounds. We're going to need a lot of volunteers. If anybody here is medical staff, see me. I'm looking for medical staff for that. That'd be great. And this is great. This is my first time here that we did this. This is awesome. I heard that there were like 200 people last year. 128 people last year? Okay. We're close to that, right? Well, that's good. It's a good turnout. Hopefully, we can do this every year. But I want to wish you, everybody, hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, and I want to wish you happy holidays. Thank you very much.
I have some coal up here if you didn't get any. This is it's not egg coal. It's actually coal. Okay. We have in this bag medallions of, now listen up back there, These pieces of wood are from the actual bellows handle from Flintlock. It lasted about 35 years, all this time, and up at Flintlock, they started using it again, and they used it for about a season and a half, and all of a sudden, it went crack, and it was no longer usable. They couldn't glue it back together or duct tape it. That was the end of it. So I've got these pieces up here, and I think if you really wanted a piece of Flintlock, you'd come up here and make an offer on it. I don't care what it is, for a couple bucks or a $5 bill or whatever you put in this bag, and take a piece home and put it on your mantle at home. I remember the days when we used to go there and make all kinds of crazy stuff. This is my anvil. It's not Napowan's original anvil. It's mine. But the stump is the main stump from Flintlock. If you want to make the horseshoe nail ring here, I've got a box of them and we're ready to go. If you'd like to make one. Now wait, where's Emily's boyfriend? He's got to make her a ring. Where'd he go? There he is, right there. Raise your hand there, buddy. Raise your hand. Hey, that's Emily's boyfriend. We're gonna make a horseshoe nail ring here. Eddie, if you could coach him, please. Eddie was one of our blacksmiths out there at Flintlock. So, if you would, whatever money comes in for this, I'm gonna give it to Javier for the museum and to help out at Flintlock. They asked me to get with them on some ideas. I have limited knowledge of Flintlock. Eddie, you have extensive knowledge of Flintlock. I need to pick your brain. And anybody else that worked at Flintlock, I need you to send me a note to tell me what you know. We're going to meet with these guys, and we're going to redesign some of what they have at Owassapee as far as Flintlock goes, and we're going to build it out. We're going to deck that place out. When we're done with that, I had the opportunity to go to the council's strategic planning meeting with Bertha and Don Harris, and I told them they need to buy another camp. They've sold Lakota, we don't have Napowan. As a guy that runs a camporee, it's very difficult to get a place on what they'll give us maybe 6 months notice. But by that time, most of the troops have already made their plans and they're not interested in going to the camporees. So the only way to get around that is to own our own camp. And I told Steve Schwab, who is the council president, we need to raise a couple $1 million to do that. When we do, I'm going to come after all of you to help build that camp. You've all got the knowledge, you have the working abilities and so on. So anyway, anybody wants to do this, just throw money in the bag and take some home with you. Hunter, grab it. I want to take that one home. I'll pay later. Anyhow, Evan Cavanaugh, are you almost ready, Evan? Evan's voice is kind of going out on him, but he said he would play a few songs for us. Evan's another 2016, so as the years went along, he was 16 in 2016 when I was the camp ranger, and now he's 24. Also, I want to mention that we have 2 former camp directors here. We have Jim Jonan, who was camp director at Napowan. What year, Jim? When were you born, David? Because you were a baby. I was holding you in the dining hall. In 71, okay. Somewhere in there. Jim Jonan and I dug, well, me by hand and him with a bobcat, the first fixed foundation outhouse at Apache and then Sioux campsite. Jim Jonan actually designed Napowan and took it from a pit toilet camp to a actual pumped out hydro situation. And he laid out all the camp and we cut them all out. We cut out all of the campsites out there in the chapel. You remember that? The chainsaws. A long time ago. The other camp director we have here is Bill Burgess. What year did you do that? 2011, he was camp director. So we have 2 camp directors here. So, as Evan is working on getting that together, I'm out of things to say. I can tell you my underwear joke again. You like that, right? It's actually true. Ever since Michael Jordan stopped putting tags in the back of his shirts, underwear is hard to figure out how to put it on correctly. I'm stalling. Hey, Bob France, come up here. Now here's one of my staff mates from 1975 and 1976. Here we go, we're going to sing our camp song. This is K-M-A-M-E-K-A-G-O-N. We are a happy camp and having fun. We are the same who put the aim in faith, always gave Hammer-Kagen. Hey!
Falling moon, startled the sounds from here, firing me, can't get it so
I remember hearing it, but I don't remember singing it.
very short part of the real camp song, which was long, beautiful song. We were talking about the trees before. Do you remember when the lightning hit a tree, traveled down the tree, over the root, and then there was a latrine staff on the root, and they blew it up, and there were 2 kids because they were afraid to go to the bathroom during the lightning, so they roasted down the toilet. There was a 2-seater toilet, and the latrine tent blew up, and the kids were okay, but they were so scared. Oh my God!
They didn't have to worry about going to the bathroom anymore. It was already gone. I remember seeing that tent. It was in shreds, right? Yeah. That was when you had to dig your own outhouse.
It's me. I'm Fu. I made the mistake of saying, yeah, I can do that to something I probably shouldn't have, but we're here, and we're gonna follow through, because whatever. But I'm a starving artist. I worked at camp for the late 2010s. Special place for me as it is for everybody else. So we'll just wing it. Let's see what happens. Thank you.
Now